Have 7 minutes, please proceed.
Good evening, San Diego City Council, and first and foremost, I want to thank the IBA, I want to thank the Mayor's Office, and all who have been working hard at today's meeting. My name is Shane Harris, and I am the President and founder of the People's Association of Justice Advocates. I want to be perfectly on point in regard to my opposition regarding item S-400 before you today on the Mayor's proposed lease between the city and the Kettner and Vine Creative House, LLC. I would like to begin by thanking everyone that has been involved in this proposed effort, including Mayor Todd Gloria's eagerness to try to address homelessness in our city. I know it is not an easy issue to address, and I thank him for even trying and attempting to do what he can. But the proposed effort before you today, there's been a lot of people that I've spoken to, homeless advocates, residents of the location nearby, citywide, and housing advocates, and city staff in the mayor's office who took me on a tour of the proposed site. If you could show a picture, that's the proposed site. I had the opportunity, picture number 2, to tour the site, as you can see. I want to thank Eric Dargan, who took me on that tour. You can take the slide down for now. I understand clearly that we need to clean up our streets. I understand the humanity of this situation because, unlike most of you on the dais, I went homeless at age 18. Exiting the county's foster care system after the losses of my parents. Upon the proposal being made, I decided to analyze the proposal from all sides of the table. In addition to that, I was the only person outside of government, news organizations, and homeless agencies to tour the proposed site with developer Doug Ham, who I am thankful opened his doors to me to see it, and the city staff who presented the basics of the vision they had. I, unlike many others, analyzed the proposal before rushing to any judgment. On the tour, I asked questions regarding the overall vision for the site and how services would be applied to those that are unsheltered. City staff told me they did not have too much assurance of what that would look like, but that there would be a vision. That was a red flag. In April, my office issued a memo to all council offices noting many of those initial concerns over the first draft of the proposed lease. It was during that time that the biggest thing I felt was missing was that there was no citywide input on a proposal for the city's first mega shelter. And I thought that that was a red flag. I mean, with all of the history that this city has had with bad real estate transactions and its lack thereof of dealing with a problem that has only grown, I thought the first thing the city would do is go to the community and the residents of this city first. But no. For example, the IBA even noted on their recent report that the national best practices show that smaller shelters specific to different types of homeless individuals, including disabled individuals, treat the situation better. I then was first to propose via written memo citywide community input sessions to be held in all 9 council districts because I thought that the input by way of homeless advocates, lived experience folks, and residents should happen first before any closed door discussions began. I proposed this to the mayor and council. Nobody listened. Some council members told me it was the mayor's decision. So after doing so much work on this issue, analyzing this with my office, and looking at the issue, the item coming before you today, I cannot support the proposal for Kettner and Vine. I can't support the lease for reasons below. 1, the newly drafted lease shows that a term of 30 years is far beyond any lease comparable, as I noted on my first memo, for industrial space in the San Diego market and an initial term of 5 years. It misstates our values, 30 years, of what we say we're trying to do with decreasing street homelessness. 2, the proposed rental rate of $1.95 per square foot a month is substantially higher than the IBA's analysis, which places the average rental rate at $1.45 per square foot a month, meaning the city is paying 25% above market rate. 3, industry standards dictate that the landlord would normally provide a usable building with all building systems in good functioning condition, particularly given that the city is paying 25% above the market rate in rent. However, the IBA's report advises that regarding the $5 million in tenant improvement allowance paid by the landlord, the proposed building improvements suggest that the allowance would not cover tenant improvements. And 4, because the proposed lease provides for no ultimate ownership interest, the city will be responsible for payment of all property taxes without the benefit of exemption. So I think there is some confusion today about where hope begins. Hope does not begin at Vine, folks. Hope begins with citywide collaboration on homelessness. Hope begins with a cohesive vision, as the mayor often states, for all of us in San Diego. Hope begins with citywide collaboration on homelessness. Hope begins with lived experiences, voices like so many that are here today, leading the discussion on what they think that ought to happen when it comes to solving homelessness. Hope begins with listening to hardworking taxpayers and residents who have a voice too and ought to be heard at the round table of discussion. Hope begins with permanent supportive housing. So, my hope today is that Joe LaCava, Jennifer Campbell, Stephen Whitburn, Mr. Foster, who I appreciated his comments earlier because he really gets this, Marnie Von Wilpert, Kent Lee, Raul Campillo, Shanila Rivera. I want it to be noted today, historically, because I know some will try to bring this back in the future. I'm going to note that I was formerly homeless. I'm going to note that I understand this issue from a compassionate level. But I also understand that we got to be compassionate of the round table. Hope is not, my friends, at Kettner and Vine. I hope that you redefine what hope truly looks like and lead our city forward with that vision, because I believe that hope is with the people. Thank you.
Next is Betsy Brennan.